Me, Jace, Kev, and the one and only Corey from the AV Life. Hi, Corey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, guys?
Very good. Very good. We are today collectively, between the four of us, going to talk to you about the demise of Vidyo. Because it's demised, and it's done, and it's finished, and they've wasted everybody's time. So I'm opening the channels with my feelings for that, as you were relatively clear. But clearly, because we've got a bit of a US and a UK conversation going on here, how are things in the US for you, Corey?
Things are very good. It's Tuesday in the morning. Well, it's afternoon for all of you. Very busy time coming up on Infocom, and well, I know I'll see a couple of you guys there, and I guess being in the spirit of this discussion, we won't see Vidyo. Okay, so we know that.
Where do you think it went wrong then, Corey? Do you think it's gone wrong first? Of course,
do I think what?
It's definitely not.
Do I think what has gone wrong?
Where do you think it's gone wrong then?
What, Vidyo?
Yeah.
Where do I think it's gone wrong? It went wrong already as far as I was concerned. There were some moves made by the company that I wasn't too sure of, and this wasn't even recently. And, I've got a lot to say about that, honestly, in terms of where things went wrong. And I wasn't surprised about this at all when I saw the news. There was no surprise at all.
Well, this is the second, third, fourth time they're trying to sell themselves, right? From a technology that was absolutely brilliant and disruptive for the market, worked absolutely perfect on 3G, 4G networks, your mobile phone, wherever you didn't care, you could just use it. And they had a real good product. But
they had the best platform, didn't they?
Yeah, platform-wise, nailed it. Unfortunately, they didn't care about the room systems. They thought they were just going to die and that they could just strap a server or whatever else that they needed onto it. No platform. And we've ended up where we are now today. So originally selling it for 400, 500 million, didn't get that. Have now sold it for 40 million. So somebody somewhere should have had their arse slapped for that. And somebody before that should be told for what happened in the UK market. So the UK market just disappeared overnight.
Oh, yeah, totally.
They moved it all out to a serviced office somewhere in
Sofia,
Bulgaria. And all of our customers are like, well, what's going on next?
I think that was the biggest thing for us. You especially, just like me, love the platform. I still to this day say, if you were going to have a video shootout, their SBC code is still the best. Hands down, there's not any that come that close.
user experience, right? The platform, technically, you're going to look at the tech, but user experience, it was awesome.
When we moved away from us as a company, we had people kicking and screaming because they didn't want to move.
We had to take it away from them.
We did. So I think to go from that, where people were bought in for all the work we did when we bought it off you back in the day, for them to disappear literally overnight. The UK especially, more than everybody went. There and then at that point there was nothing. The point then where any support that we had all gone. We had to wait for the guys in Jersey to wake up. So if you were making a call before, for us, 2 in the afternoon, you weren't getting no support. It didn't exist. We had an account manager that we said, when we were told they were in Sofia, how can we meet? Sorry, we're not allowed to travel. We can't even leave the office. We shouldn't really even be on the phone. So yeah.
When I first came across Vidyo, it was Infocom 2011, and their booth was as busier, more exciting than Cisco's, Polycom's. There was a real buzz about their booth, and they were telling me something new, fresh, and interesting. Okay, no respect paid to the room systems, but they had a real buzz going on. To go from there to
massively, and the upset they caused with that. I mean, we'd gone through so long of when you wanted a bridge call, an MCU call, if you didn't spend 60 grand on hardware and the same on licenses, you weren't having a bridge call. And Vidyo's answer was buy that £5 grand router and that's it, it's done. That's all you need. And that will give you 150 seats. Crack on. That upset the big players so much, and that's why everyone bought into it. They had, as you said, such a new story. It was so fresh, it was so different.
You say everyone bought into it. How many times in a pitch with Vidyo did you hear soon?
Yeah, every single time.
We sold to CERN. Did you sell to anyone else?
That was a monster building. So you can't take that away. What was it? Something like 18-something thousand scientists registered.
And of course, that's where they tested a lot of the software anyway.
Yeah.
Such as the dashboard. So that dashboard came from CERN wanting to do A, B, and C to see what's happening with it.
Yeah, because CERN pre-built most of it for them.
So Corey, you've done some work in that. You've done some work in that Video Works era, which to us looked like it was being built around Barclays Bank and stuff like that. Is that a point in time where they lost focus on that thing, that buzz that was created at Infocom 2011?
Well, going for that, JP, my first experience with video was in 2012, at the end of 2012. And I had just relocated to Virginia, and I was invited to a meeting to meet with Vidyo and the people there. And I didn't know Vidyo at the time. And I have to say I was very impressed with the technology. Ofer Shapiro, obviously the brains behind Vidyo, and the start when you saw them, Noble, when you came aboard with them, came aboard dealing with them. And I met Ofer Shapiro at this meeting, as well as many of the others. And I have to say, I was just so impressed with all that I saw. And not only the technology, but their knowledge as well. Because back in the day, for me, it was Tandberg, Polycom, Tandberg, Cisco, obviously. And I had seen something brand new at that point. I had actually gotten out of the industry for a little, got back in, and then saw this. And it opened up a whole new world of video conferencing, as far as I could see. And, then little by little, seeing the others, seeing Zoom, Video, Pexip, and Videxio, and again, many of the Econo at the time. And it really just became an interesting market at that point. And I think video in time had a bit of an uphill climb to compete with this market as well. Ofer Shapiro leaves the company. There were others who I knew there, but what you reference in terms of the video banking at that point, I was impressed with it, but I think there was a bit of a direction where healthcare had become their major direction at the time. And they really tried this, but I'm not sure if it went where they wanted it to or expected it to. And that could have possibly been part of this downfall, as it was, where if you even look at the website, it's still not as developed as you think it could be. And I think that's where it all started. I do.
I think the healthcare piece as well, because we saw it. There was people using the API, the Video Works platform, to try and totally skin and make a health platform. That could have been a video-based health platform where you could route your cars and you could merge and transfer and do that. There was enough companies that tried to use Video Works to do that, even in Europe. But for all the ones that had tried to do it, I couldn't tell you where any of them are.
Do you remember when pre-Video Works and it was Video API, and trying to get pricing or support or understanding from Video themselves of how that was going to work in the UK? You couldn't get that.
No, you couldn't.
It had to go via US. There was no conversation there, right?
And I'll say on the media side at that point, talking to Vidyo, even meeting with them in the first place, I was consulting. I had gotten out of integration sales. But then I was squarely on the media side when it was healthcare and then banking and all. And that is how I was following them. So how other people in industry knew them and knew where healthcare might have gone, where banking might have gone, I was looking at that perspective. And I honestly would not know, where healthcare went in terms of usability, in terms of, how successful it might have been. And banking, I just saw the tail off right from there, where to this day, I'm not sure if it ever really recovered in terms of my perspective.
For me, I'm with you. I don't think it truly did. It seems like the telltale signs that nothing really did is the level of support, the level of anything from Vidyo, trying to get hold of them, became to the point where it was impossible. Even just ringing Jersey to get a bit of advice or it just didn't happen. Asking for pricing on what was away from what became their cloud platform, because that's where all their eggs went at one point. Trying to get pricing for stuff that wasn't cloud would take 4 times longer and 3 rounds of pricing, because they'd only price your cloud even when you're asking for on-premise licenses.
Yeah.
So I think, knowing that the way that they just seem to completely disband everybody.
It's like somebody goes, it's like going to a picnic
business,
and getting all your stuff out and popping your prosecco and your beers and you get your prawns and everything, and then you just get the tablecloth and you go.
But if there was enough of a business behind it, there was enough of a usage, there was enough users on their platform, there's no way they'd have sold themselves for what, 40 now?
You wouldn't think so.
No chance. So it can't have got the legs. But what's more annoying is the legs that when they started, this platform, this architecture, deserved. It genuinely did. It wasn't a case that they were flogging a dead horse. It was bloody brilliant.
Yeah. So I'm going to sort of wrap us up here, right, with one thought that healthcare came up a few times there, and one could argue at the minute that they might have even been ahead of their time. I used to get really frustrated with Vidyo that they had some success in North American healthcare, and they used to come here and think that that same application, that same sales methodology could be used to sell to the NHS. They have no knowledge of how the NHS works, its information governance and everything else. They couldn't get, apart from a couple of big deals that happened, they couldn't get through the door in a significant way in the NHS. Only recently the NHS has announced new information governance laws, where they might have done it.
Yeah, true.
If they have.
Well, a slap in the face. Buy yourself back. You're all forgiven.
So, Corey, mate, thanks for joining us. It was we've quickly covered. We all cared about, we all have had a strong opinion on the Vidyo story, because it was such a great platform. When something's that good, you kind of somewhat care about the future success of it.
You do.
We really appreciate your North American view of the world, and you've given us some insight on some of your previous articles. I'll let you share them on social media after this goes live, and we'll look forward to working with you again, mate. Thanks.
You gentlemen are welcome, and thank you for inviting me. This was great.
Anytime.
And see you later.